Hey y'all, we are here and we have special guest Terrane Hicks, occult
Peace,
college. Y'all know,
peace,
sprinkle, sprinkle.
peace. What up?
So yes, and I have already pinned all his information in the comments and in the description bar. So definitely check it out. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay, y'all. Say hello, shout out everybody. So today we're going to be talking about money science, wealth, and magic to help everybody get their money up. Ain't that right?
That's right. That's right. That's what we on all summer.
Okay. So, how do you get your money up? What
Well,
type of
one,
magic and money science are you using?
well, the first piece is how I dress. Right. I wholeheartedly believe in that science. You know what you put on your body, the fabric, the quality of the fabric, the colors. You know what I'm saying will dictate how much money you make. That itself is a whole science and an art that I believe in, and it has worked for me. And because
I'm
it
looking.
has worked, I keep
I'm
doing
looking.
it.
I'm looking for my pen so I can write down some of your stuff too.
Okay,
But keep talking. I'm not. I'm not ignoring you. I'm looking for a pen.
I got you. But like that's one of my main things is if you want to step into wealth, you have to dress like that. Doesn't mean you need to necessarily purchase the highest name brand stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but you gotta look well, you have to look wealthy. And one
Mm-hmm.
of the things I teach about that is you gotta look wealthy every single day.
Mm.
Every day.
Mm.
Because
Agree.
that itself is ritual. It's mantra, and I have not seen it not work. It's a big
Mm-hmm.
deal.
So, what do you think about that old money fashion or that old money aesthetic and fashion coming back in style? How do
Oh
you
yeah.
feel about
It never died out.
it? Exactly? But it's now being popularized as, something that's trending, quote unquote.
I see that, but it has always been the energetic of wealth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that style, you know, was what wealthy people were on a long time ago. It still is what wealthy people are on. It's because the science of wealth is consistent. It doesn't
Mm,
change.
okay. So dress well, dress like wealth
Yes,
daily. That's number
daily.
one tip. Okay. And what kind of science and magic does this do just by dressing wealthy daily? Explain.
Well, so if I broke it down into quantum physics and quantum mechanics, the fabric we have on has
Mm-hmm.
ones and zeros, right?
Okay.
The quality of what you wear, you become. So we radiate an electromagnetic frequency. So everything in matter has a radiance of electromagnetic frequency. So the minute I put this on, the frequency instantly goes to wealth
What
because
fabric?
I don't know what fabric, but I can't tell you. But it looked good.
Okay.
Right? I go for what's good on the eyes because the symmetrics and the symmetry and the pictorials, that's all in frequency. Right?
So
Pictures is go ahead.
it don't matter how much it costs, it matters how good it looks and how
Yes.
wealthy you look. Okay.
That's what a lot of people mistake. So when I tell people to dress like wealthy, some people get discouraged because they go, I don't have $10,000 to put into my wardrobe. And it's not the name brand. It's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal. And because of that, everyone can afford to dress like you're wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone can afford it.
It's actually cheaper to dress like you're wealthy, honestly. You know
Can
why?
you break that down? I'm listening.
Yes, because you're not going for the latest trends. You're not going for a bunch of like designer name brands. You're going for more quality and classic style, which lasts longer across the board and doesn't go out of style. And everywhere you go, it looks chic, especially if you know, dress it correctly. And it actually is less, you're spending less money, so you're saving more money and, you know, stacking more money, dressing like money versus like you ain't got no money and you're trying to show off. You know what I'm saying?
That makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
I can resonate with that. And that leads me to my next thing, right? The world, this universe or this reality is all about pictures. All of us are, we're just walking pictures. We're just walking, talking pictures, right? And because everything is about pictures, the name of the game is picture perfect.
Ooh, I like that. Let me write that down. Picture perfect. Okay, so what do you think about people that don't care about their appearance or their how they dress and how they present themselves to the world as picture?
They're missing out on a certain frequency
Okay.
of an experience.
And
Right.
once they get on that frequency of that experience and they get used to it, it's very hard to go back.
Yeah, because your quality of life and experience in life rises.
Mm-hmm.
And no one that gets to that quality ever desires to go back.
Exactly. So one of the things that I like to do is every day I wake up, look good, feel good. And when you feel good, you attract good. And if you like money and you think money is good, you're going to attract that. So every day every day I get up, I have a ritual. I will make up my bed and then start my process of getting dressed. And whenever I pick out my clothing, I always think about, you know, how does this make me look? How do I present to the world? How and it all has to be on the same frequency and how you present.
I like that. One of my morning rituals is there's this one spot. It's like I call it my secret hideout. It's one of the wealthiest districts in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Every single morning around 4 or 5 a.m., I have to go there and I have to meditate. Because when I go there, I feel good. And the people that are in that area, I can tell they feel good as well. Everyone is wealthy. So I make that that's a consistent ritual for me. And it works. It helps me to start my day.
Mm-hmm.
So I start my day surrounded by wealth.
Ooh,
and that helps me stay on that frequency for the entire day. And whenever something is not in that frequency, it's a lot easier for me to recognize it and remove it because I started my day in a certain frequency.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I have an idea for the people that can't get to a wealthy area every day. Turn on a wealthy TV show. Put on a wealthy ambiance on your computer screen or your television screen, you know, just to get the mood and the ambiance as well if you can't get it in person.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I've done that a lot. They got a lot of that type of stuff on YouTube where you can watch hours of like tours of mansions and stuff like that, and you could just zone in. And if you zone in properly, it becomes a meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's quite addictive too.
Yeah, you're thinking this is how I'm supposed to live. You're thinking this is normal. It's become an everyday part of your life. So it's now your frequency and that frequency is now together. And now the possibility of having such a lifestyle has increased.
One of the things I noticed is that, like, if we read any of the wealth books, like To Think and Grow Rich and all of that stuff, they're all saying the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very consistent with what we're saying. You got to be immersed in feeling good, thinking good, eating good. You know what I'm saying? You have to make that ritual and you can't break it because they're all saying the same thing. They have to be right about it.
Mm-hmm. That is so true. And also, if for people that are very symbolic, like with Magick and things like that, there's also things that you can do, or that I do, for the symbolic, symbolism of it all. In my purse or in my car or whatever, I keep things that represent wealth on a frequency. So gold, like it could be just a little pair of gold earrings. I keep like coins. I keep like anything that reminds you of wealth, anything that reminds you of abundance, any of those things. I always keep it in my purse and in all my purses. So like, let's say I switch out my purse, I'm always going to keep a little coins in there. Even if I'm not using it and it's just up in the closet, there's always going to be money in every bag that I have, or something of wealth. You know what I'm saying? Something that represents wealth. So I always keep that. Several streams of income, several bags of money.
It's so interesting. In my home, I have like dollar bills everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And just earlier today, my mom was at my house and she was like, "Why do you got so many dollar bills everywhere?" And it's a ritual for me to keep cash around my home.
Mm-hmm.
And it works. I know it works because I've been doing it for years, but I noticed the more loose cash I have just floating around,
Mm-hmm.
the more money is in my bank account.
Ooh, that's a good,
right?
Do some
So
of that.
that's what I do with like my loose change, like my cash. I'll just like put it under the mattress, or I'll put it here, and I'll try to let it accumulate. And my bank account starts to reflect that. So the more that cash is around, that's how I am able to know how much money I have in my bank accounts. So I know there's a correlation. So very similar to what you said. Very deep.
Mm-hmm. That kind of reminds me of alchemy, like as above, so below, as physical, so is digital.
Yeah.
Because your bank account is literally digital. That's a good idea. One of the things I do, I have a money tree where, it's like an Asian tradition, to where it's like the name of the tree is like money tree. And I water it every day and I keep it by my door. And every time I water it, I envision more money pouring into my account as I water this money tree, and new leaves and things grow on it. So does my income, so does my money. So I have a money tree that I water, and watching it grow, and continuously doing something physically to make it grow is also like symbolic in your mind, and program to do the same thing in life with everything else.
That's deep.
Mm-hmm.
You got me jogging my memory. When I first started coming into wealth, I heard that pennyroyal was like good for attracting wealth. So what I started doing was I started to mop my floors with pennyroyal.
Mm-hmm.
And that was around the first time that I started noticing real wealth. So yeah, we're giving out some secrets today.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and okay, so I have another thing. Like, I've noticed this, and I think I've talked about this before. I don't know what kind of vehicle you drive, but I noticed when I was driving less luxurious vehicles versus more luxurious vehicles, people treat you different, and you get more respect and I don't want to say opportunities, but you get more respect and other things when you're driving a nicer vehicle. Even on the road, people give you the right of way. Like, there's just an energy that comes with the energy of wealth. And I noticed, like, when I had a less luxurious car, people would cut me off. People would like take the right of way when it was mine. People will ding your doors in the parking lot. They just don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's so deep that you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
It is a gazillion percent worth having a luxury car if you can afford it. Because once you get that good treatment from everyone, you're not going back. You're like, because now you start to believe I need to live like this every day. So if y'all treated me like this because I have this luxury car, then I need all of my life to be in this experience. It is like night and day. If you're in a luxury car, you feel the luxury because the people treat you like that. Like she's saying. And it is like intense. It's very apparent. Everybody gives you the right away. The police wave at you. And yeah.
Yep. It's crazy because like it's night and day. It's literally
It's
like
night and day. Right. A luxury car is a real investment.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a luxury suit that looks nice. It's going to give you an experience that is worth more than what you pay for it. So
Yeah.
I feel like these things are real investments.
I think a man in a nice suit or, that invests in a nice suit is investing in himself, in his career, in his future, in his social life, in every aspect of his life where he's going to wear that suit. It's an investment because how people perceive you.
For years to come.
Mm-hmm.
For years to come.
It's a good investment.
It's a very good investment. Luxury car, good investment. Great investment. Right.
Okay. Oh, okay. So you got some other tips?
I was going to say, you got to kind of be obsessed with wealth in order to get into the frequency.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to add that.
I agree. And people will get mad at you for being obsessed with wealth, but they don't understand the magic science of money and wealth.
I have something to say to that.
Uh-huh.
Wealth is a science, and it is a professional sport.
Agree.
Other people that are not playing the sport and practicing the science or the art of wealth, they're not going to understand. Everyone outside of the sport of wealth is not going to understand, not going to resonate. But they'll appreciate when you buy something for them.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll ask you for money. Or they'll ask you for tips. But they haven't invested in themselves in the training to get into the actual sport of wealth.
Mm-mm. And the funny thing is, like, okay, so I know people that have a lot of money. They don't need any more money. They want it, and they use how to get it as a sport.
Yes.
That's their hobby.
Mm-hmm.
It's like some people have video games, and some people have getting money. So it's really their hobby, and that's how they, fulfill their time, and it's fun to them. So a lot of people look at like creating wealth as a hobby when they don't even need it.
Right. And everyone who looks at creating wealth like a hobby are very, 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 very wealthy. Because they're into the passion of the sport of this art. They know that they don't need it. And that's where people outside of it don't understand.
They're not giving off desperate or needy energy. So their frequency is already on wealth.
Right. Because, desperation, neediness, scarcity, those are frequencies opposite of wealth. So if you notice, those that are wealthy are very laid back. They chill. They relax, calm, collective. There's an energy, and that's why I want y'all to go to these rich districts, the richest district, and just look at the demeanor of the people. And just study how they move. It's very consistent.
Agree. And I feel like once people get out of desperation and survival mode, that's when they can enter into the game or into the hobby of building wealth. into the frequency of building wealth. You got to be out of struggle mode. You can't be in it.
It's like you got struggle mode, and then it's like you got to break. Once you break past there, you in there.
Mm-hmm. And that middle ground, it's like middle ground is where you keep going and you don't stop until you get to where you don't even need to check your bank account no more. That's the middle ground. If you still got to check your bank account, keep going.
I feel like a lot of people, they're getting there and they get a little too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And then they stop.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that one friend that is no friend that impressed it and now everything went down. Or it's that one person that you were in a relationship that allowed you to lose focus and then now everything went down. But if you would have kept going, you would be in a place to where you never have to worry about finances ever again. I feel like a lot of people get stuck there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's why you don't need distractions. If they're not on the same frequency or wavelength, you got to leave them behind or ignore them and tell them you'll see them later when you're done with doing what you need to do. Because some people will be literally standing your way because they can't do it or they don't understand it, you know. So like as soon as I wake up, I'm always thinking about new ideas or, you know, doing whatever I do. But I'm always thinking about all the streams of income that I have and how I can increase them and make more. And there's nothing wrong with that because some people have to wake up every day and solve someone else's problems for a fraction of the pay, you know, when they go to work. So it's the same thing, except you're doing this for yourself. And instead of building other people's wealth, you're building yours on several streams, several frequencies.
Yeah, I noticed that. So I don't know, maybe have like 8 streams and there's an ebb and flow. And I look at ways to increase all of them. Yep. It's a great feeling because there's no way I'm going to lose on 8 streams. It's not possible. Mm-hmm. Right? So that's how I know that I made it to some degree. And, you know, I'm like real passionate about the sport now. Mm-hmm. And now I just want to share that sport with others.
Exactly. And no matter how small or large the income stream is, you can always increase it, promote it, and to get it higher and higher whenever you feel like it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you have to have faith in yourself and main character energy to be able to have the confidence in order to start those streams of income without doubting yourself. Because most people don't realize that if you have a job and you're employed with somebody, your money is hanging by a string. I call it dangling by a string because at any time you could lose that job.
What I notice is that so someone can be on that path to wealth and then they have the wrong people around them doubting them. That idea is not going to work. Oh, this is not going to work. Oh, you didn't think about, you got to get rid of those people.
Yeah, I just do what I do and then I tell them after it's done. I don't.
Yeah, don't consult. Because everybody have 1,000 opinions and most of those opinions are pessimistic. Mm-hmm. Very rarely is someone going to be optimistic about your big goals. And that's just the reality of fact. It's rare. So, like she said, keep it hush. After it works, then talk about it because then now they can't say anything.
Exactly. They can't say, oh, that's never going to work because it already did. So have faith in yourself, do your thing, and don't listen to other people that are negative. Get away from negative, poverty-minded people. Of course, that's one of the tips. You can't be in an environment that promotes poverty.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. You know, like I tell a lot of my students, cut the dusties off, cut them off. Don't talk, block them. I have a strict policy about that. And it works. Mm-hmm. You can't bring everybody with you to the top.
Mm-mm. And you know, when you tell people to block them dusties, I tell them if they try to come back, they got to pay a re-entry fee to waste your time again. You know.
Yeah.
So if they try to come back, you got to charge them.
Right. They try to come
They'll
back, charge them.
leave you alone.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Right.
So yeah,
Exactly.
anything that promotes poverty, you don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Anything that
It,
promotes poverty mind, you
it,
don't want to be.
it cancels out the wealth frequency like
Mm-hmm.
instantly. A lot of people don't understand how quickly that they cancel out their wealth frequency by being entertaining poverty.
What are some examples of entertaining poverty and poverty-minded like things, in your opinion?
Reading negative Facebook posts.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Entertaining controversy, entertaining gossip,
Mm-hmm.
all forms of gossip. I know for a lot of y'all, gossip is addictive. If
I don't
y'all
like.
kill that, you what?
I said I don't do gossip. I don't like gossip.
Right. So if a lot of people, if they kill gossip altogether, their money's going to increase.
Their money's going
Gossip,
to increase.
like some people like to entertain a little bit of kill it completely. Gossip is just not a money frequency. It never has been. And
Why do you
for a
think
lot of
people
people,
are so addicted to it?
Because a lot of people get a dopamine high off of the misery of others. It's entertainment. It's dopamine.
Okay, but you can get dopamine on getting money too.
Exactly. That's why I say kill it. Because
Exactly.
you can get dopamine on the money. And then once you get the dopamine on the money, you could just stick with that. Let that be your drug.
It's more exciting and it's more it's a higher frequency to tell somebody how much about your money versus about someone else's gossip. Like, girl, guess
Yeah.
what deal I just made? Or you know what? I just got this big deal. I just got this big, da-da-da. I just got, look how much money I done made. Look at, that's a higher level of frequency than girl, guess what happened to such.
That's a way better dopamine hit.
Mm-hmm. And after you get the money, you could tell somebody else how to get it and get their energy higher instead of lower.
Right. And that's another dopamine hit because you're giving advice. People like what you're saying. Right.
And it working for them. So you're happy, they happy, everybody happy.
I'd rather take that road. I'm very happy that you don't do gossip at all. I noticed that.
Yeah.
I
People
like that.
always comments asking me about gossip, and I just act like I don't know who they talking about, what they talking about, whoever.
Right.
Yeah, because that's poverty line. It literally is like I literally noticed that rich people don't gossip. Very rarely. Broke
Very rarely.
people gossiping. And I ain't
every day.
Part of it. Okay. I don't want to be
They
mistaken.
They gossip every day.
Exactly. I can't be one of the broke gossiping chicks. That ain't me. Yeah, I mean they could gossip about me, but I ain't finna join in because I'm not on that broke frequency.
Right.
Sprinkle, sprinkle. And it's a turnoff as well. If you're in the presence of like wealthy people and you start gossiping, they know who the brokest one in the room is.
Oh yeah, that's the dead on sign. The minute I hear something like that, I'm like, okay, I know what frequency you on. Cutting you off. I like to listen. And I like to listen to what someone talks about.
Mm-hmm. That's what I do. I'm an observer. I listen, I learn, and I see what is and what you're about before I even, deal with you. I'm going to know your mindset a little bit because a lot of people don't realize people will, judge you by what you speak about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that.
And if you speak wealth, you're on the frequency of wealth. Wealthy people ears gonna light up and hear your thoughts and ideas, and they're going to be attracted to it versus broke frequency. They're not going to hear that. They're like, oh, they're just gossiping them broke people over there. That's why when you watch movies and you see like rich people doing their rich people thing, and then you see all the workers and the help sitting in the back gossiping, but the rich people are like, oh, the stock market and all this and stuff, and always the workers and the people in the back be gossiping.
That's a real thing.
And they show that a lot in movies for a reason.
That's how it works.
Mm-hmm. Levels of entertainment. Like broke people like to gossip. Entrepreneurs and middle class, and they like to talk about ideas and how to get this thing. And then rich and wealthy people learn how to play the sport of money. So it's levels to it, literally.
I'd rather you all get into the sport. The sport is addictive, it is fulfilling, and it will help you help your family and other people. Mm-hmm. And put yourself into positions of power where you can make a change in the world. So that's the perk of the sport. It's not necessarily an easy sport because you got to be consistent and disciplined, but it pays off. But you got to study the art, and you can't break the rules.
Right.
So if we're saying no gossip, it's no gossip.
Mm-mm. And another thing, emotional intelligence. You got to know when to shut your mouth and stop taking things personal all the time. That's one of the things that I've noticed, the difference between, wealthy-minded people and poverty-minded people. A lot of times poverty-minded people take everything personally, and they're not in control of their emotions. So what do you have to say about that?
When it comes to business, right, or anything of that alignment, I just say it's straight out, F your feelings. It's straightforward, F your feelings. Mm-hmm. Because this is an art. This is a sport. So why are you bringing your feelings into it? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you, you know what I'm saying? Like, the best athletes, they might get into their feelings very rarely, but after they perform well, right? Because what all that matters is like your score. So when it comes to business, all that matters is the accumulation of the funds, right? More money. There's no feelings attached to that. Mm-mm. It's not.
Exactly. So yeah, I noticed that people are always mad. Well, you need like, okay, you're focusing on the wrong things that don't matter. Okay. So this is why, like, the higher you get, the less people you can take with you, like you said, because too many people are in their feelings and they have not evolved past that yet to get on a certain frequency. And so a lot of people will not and don't want to deal with those sort of people or those sort of feelings because they don't benefit. They actually take away, because emotional energies, emotion, if they're a draining type of person or a draining type of energy that's always focused on something that doesn't even matter, they're wasting your time. So time is money, and people that are about their money and the sport of money don't like wasting time.
In this poverty mindset, a lot of people have it. Mm-hmm. And it's very, very, very hard to explain to poverty-minded people what we're talking about. It's very hard. It's very, very hard. The poverty mindset is addictive, like the strongest drug, right? So if any of you have like an ounce of that, break away from that joint. Like, this is AA money, the money version of it.
Yep. And if you are surrounded by poverty-minded people, you got to get away from them and be by yourself or be with people that are about money. That's the only way.
That's the only way, right? You start seeing that everybody in wealth It's part of like this subculture.
Mm-hmm.
That everybody had the same character. And then you start learning how to adapt that character, and that becomes like ritual. And then before you know it, you're of it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the biggest techniques or tips is to be around wealthy people
Mm-hmm.
as much as you can. That itself is magic.
So here's my question. So if wealthy people like to hang around wealthy people, what about those people who aren't quite wealthy yet, but want to get in that frequency? What type of wealthy people are the most welcoming into their circle in order to, get you on that frequency? Because I know a lot of people are saying, well, you saying wealthy people don't hang around wealthy, broke people. So how am I supposed to hang around them?
Like there's this saying that like if you're the smartest person, then you're in the wrong room.
Mm-hmm.
Their job is to get into a higher room of wealth. That's their next thing. Right? It would not even necessarily be for them to be around their peers that in the same capitalism. That's fine because now they won't win money, but their focus is to get to that next room. Right? It take that one person to get you into another door. So that's their assignment. That's their assignment. But also, fortunately, they cannot go backwards.
Mm-mm. Uh-oh, he cut off. Oh, he'll be back in a second. He was having a bad connection, obviously. But, oh, look, the little circle. So, yeah, I definitely agree. The hunger of knowledge is what gets you in the room, not the greed or the wanting of luxury, but the knowledge is the wealth, because if you learn how to get it, you can never not get it. So people that know how to do stuff love to teach other people how to do things. And it's not about the money. It's about the knowledge of how to get money. And if you already have that knowledge on how to get money, then you can talk about the sport of money to another person. And they'll find you more intriguing versus someone who doesn't know anything. That's why, like on my other channel, when I tell people, look, you're going to date somebody wealthy, make sure you become wealthy as well while you're dating them. Use their money to build your money. Okay? Start you a business. They give you the credit card and tell you to go shopping. Go buy some inventory, start an online store, something. But don't waste it and like go spend it on something that's going to be out of style in a year or two from now. So, okay, he's back. Hey.
Yeah. It was the Illuminati. They cut me off. I was giving out too many secrets.
Not them again. Okay. Well, welcome back. I was just talking about how the how to get into the wealthy room is to have a thirst for knowledge about wealth versus the wealth itself, because people love to teach other people.
That's it. It would be like that the cheap book that you had.
Mm-hmm.
It would be read something that's complex to wealth that you in the middle of that book, and then now you get invited somewhere. It's like what SHERA said, that thirst for knowledge will get you into that room.
Yep. Now I'm gonna tell y'all, because your feed is kind of like choppy. I don't know what's happening.
Let me see what I can do.
Okay. I'm gonna talk about what he was just talking about. So, like the knowledge in the book that he was talking about reading, and then you get invited somewhere. That's so true, because depending on what you're reading, the frequency that you're on, or if somebody asks you what you're currently reading and you say something that they have in common with, and especially if it's about wealth or whatever, people will literally like want to talk to you about that because they want to see how you're thinking, da, 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 if you have the same mentality as they do. So I remember one time I was just reading a book, and like somebody approached me and they were like, oh, what are you reading? Oh, that's a really good book. Oh, so you're into science, huh? So you're into this, huh? So you're into that, huh? I'm like, yeah. And that person literally was a multimillionaire. So just by the knowledge that you are, taking in is going to attract people that are on a similar frequency. So I definitely feel like a lot of people are missing out by not, taking in this knowledge of wealth or this knowledge of science or how things work on a higher level, because that is part of the sport of wealth, is the knowledge to keep it, maintain it, and be disciplined enough to grow it and do even more with it. So okay, let's see, he's back.
I should be good now. I had
Yeah.
to connect my Wi-Fi.
Okay, yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Welcome back again.
All right.
I was telling them about a time I was reading a book, and just by the book alone, because it was like it had to do with science, a lot of stuff, and a multimillionaire approached me and was interested because I was reading a book that they were interested in. So a lot of times reading about certain, subjects will also attract the wealthy as well.
That's deep, because one time I was, Lakshmi is known as the goddess of billionaires. And I was going deep into the Lakshmi mantras and the Lakshmi practice. And I was on the train, and somebody who was like almost a billionaire started talking to me like, like, I know what that book is about. And they became a client of mine, like by the end of that day, because they were into Lakshmi as well. So, just going into that practice is a very complicated practice, but she is the goddess of billionaires. It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm. That's the elephant goddess, like the Hindu elephant goddess. No.
That's Ganesha.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Lakshmi is also Hindu.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But she's a goddess of what else besides billionaires?
Well, she's the goddess of wealth. She's the goddess of luxury. She's the goddess of good scenery, and she's the goddess of the element gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what can people do to work with her on a level to grow their wealth?
She has mantras, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can text me. If you text me, I'll give you a good luxury mantra. But
okay.
she has.
Okay.
Yep. Just text me Lakshmi mantra and I'll give it to you. But she has mantras, and those mantras, if you do them the right way, they're very, very effective.
Mm-hmm.
And then, she has offerings too. You know what I'm saying? She likes honey, gold, roses, opulence. But, one of the things I love about her is that she won't work with you if your home is not clean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Y'all better get the cleaning or call the maid.
Yeah, get to clean it. Go call the maid.
Mm-hmm. What if let me ask you a question. What does cleanliness have anything to do with wealth? Because I need to tell a lot of people this, because it is very important to me, because it makes me feel more organized. Even if somebody else has to clean for you, as long as everything is organized and clean, how does that correlate?
It correlates very intense, right? So I want you all to observe anyone around you who is hard on times, right? Or in poverty. I promise you, not one of them have a clean home. Not one of them. And then you yourself, right? If you are generally clean and all of that, and you feel like, damn, my finances have dipped, I promise you, for that period of time, your home is absolutely messy. I can promise you that. Right? For people who are super duper clean freaks, not necessarily neat freaks, but clean freaks, they don't have much debt, if any at all. That's how much wealth and cleanliness is linked, because it is part of the science. So I just said a whole goddess, a Hindu goddess of wealth, won't even come to you unless your home is clean.
Okay. Well, that's good. It's also like symbolic as well, like cleanliness and organization, and like putting things as a priority also has a lot to do with how your money is. You said it about the debt, so it's the same thing. Okay, so do you have any magical tips that, because I have a few, but do you have any magical tips on what people can do with, spell wise, or just, like you're going to text them the mantras if they text you, but anything you can tell them here?
The money tree. Okay,
I have one of those.
Right. I like to use a pine tree. Any pine, because pine it has the everlasting leaves, and that everlasting leaves it's good for long-term wealth, because the way the leaves grow is that it's going to stay green. And we need, for those of us that want to tap into wealth, we need the consistency over a long period of time. Right. So get a money tree of any sort. It could be pine, it could be a bonsai tree, it could be any tree, really. Right. And make that tree just for wealth. So you put in all your money mantras into it, all your intentions, and you're going to water it, you're going to nurture it, and you're going to put, every time you're doing something for money, that's where you're going to pour your energy first. That tree, because it's alive, it's going to put energy back into you. And it is going to constantly be able to feed your home wealth energy, especially if you play like wealth mantras over it, right? So I remember one time I went to Vegas, I had a money tree, and I played a Lakshmi mantra on repeat in front of the tree. And when I went to Vegas, I won a lot of money. That was my intention. And when I came back from Vegas, I felt the wealth in my home, because it was just the YouTube music of Lakshmi in that tree. So that tree was able to just build the energy and continue to build the energy. So that's a good ritual.
I actually, on my channel, I have a money bowl video where I teach people how to start a money bowl, where you put like cash, coins, pine needles. Like you can add other stuff to it, like money oil, pine oil. So it will become a pile of just money energy on top of coins, on top of dollars, on top of, pine needles, on top of money oil. So it was just like a mountain. It became like a mountain of like everything that represented growing your money. And as like every day I would come in the house, I would add something to it. And if I didn't have anything to add to it, after I would put some money oil or some pine needles. And then if I had some coins, I would put some coins on there. You know how your kids walk around and they give you like, oh, here, mom, I found a quarter or a dime or a penny. Yeah, I just throw that in there. Or I tell them to add it to that too. So like I see change in the couch, I'm putting it in there, So it's kind of like growing your money in a money bowl, and it's a physical representation. And also at the same time, a lot of money was coming in because of the frequency that you're on. You're literally focusing on growing your money. And so that's the frequency you're putting out. And every time you add something to that money bowl, money is also being added to you elsewhere. So I did that for years. And it works. Just any type of, I used a green bowl. I used color magic with it. I used a green bowl, just any type of green bowl. And you can use clear, it don't matter. And I just kept filling it every day. And then once it was full, I started another one. And what you can do is you can take that money, you could put it in your tree or bury it in your tree or buy a tree so that it's continued to grow. Whatever you want to do with it. Or you can keep the money, you know, and do whatever you need to do with it. Because I also heard that I think in 2025, they're not going to make the penny anymore. So if you have a bunch of pennies somewhere, save it. It's also copper and, very high frequency. Save those pennies because in the future, they're going to be worth way more than they're worth today. They're not going to make them no more.
Get out. They're not making the pennies anymore.
Mm-mm. So if you can get as many pennies as you can, like they're not going to make them anymore because it costs more to make them than they're worth.
Well, automatically in like 20 years, that stuff's going to accumulate in value.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, save those pennies. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And any penny made before a certain date is more copper than pennies made after a certain date. I think it's 1983. I'm not 100% sure on that. But if you can find a penny from 1983 and older, it's going to be worth more, especially in the future, because they're not going to make them. But like what a lot of people are doing is they're getting all their change together and they're like rolling it up or keeping it because they're not going to make the pennies anymore. So I don't know.
Another ritual I had my students do was I would have them take all their money out the bank and they would chant on their money certain mantras and they would put their intention into their money and they would face the west direction because west in Dravidian science is the money direction, and they would put that money back to the bank, but they would program the money to make them more money because currency has to move, right? So money it can't sit still. The worst thing you can do is just hoard your money. You gotta kind of get your money to go to work for you to make you more money. So I would have them chant on it and then put it back into the bank and then, it'll start moving.
Yep.
And that's what they do in Bohemian Grove.
They take their money, chant over it, and then put it back in.
The top 100 Fortune 500 CEOs meet, and that dollar bill has a owl on the inside of it, a hidden owl called the Bohemian Owl. And they circle around this owl statue and they discuss how they're going to do business for the year. And then they do the ritual and then they do their business. Okay.
Let's get into that for a second. Why an owl?
Well, that is the one. The owl is the patron deity of the occult.
Okay, why?
It's the wisdom. It is that the owl has foresight, wisdom. It can see everything. It can see in the darkness. It can see the occult. It can see the secrets. Right? The owl is also very, very, very serious predator as far as like its ability to hunt. Right? Owl is also, as far as aggressiveness, is a version of a hawk. Right? Owl is known. You said what?
They have the talons like a hawk.
Yeah. So owl is in Native American science known as a night hawk. Right. So owl is a very good for animal, energetically, just like the bald eagle. The bald eagle, as far as war, the owl is good for occultism, money science, wisdom, direction. Right, to be able to pierce through the night. It has the protection, magic, and all of that. And not to get too deep into it, but owls can harness other entities.
Like what kind?
Um, like demonic energies,
Mm-hmm.
right? So for example, for anyone who dived into the Keys of Solomon,
Mm-hmm.
right, there is a very powerful owl in the Goetia named Starless.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very powerful, very occult, stuff like that.
Okay. So, if someone starts to like, if they want to grow their money, if they want to look deeper into things and see things on a different level and see through the darkness, should they incorporate some type of like animal magic or work with like an owl statue? Is there a goddess or a an entity that is an owl?
I mean,
Or
there's many, many owl spirits and things like that. But what I would suggest they do, other than watch some owl documentaries, they got some really good ones. Get an owl whistle. The Mayans made
at my house, there's always owls outside my house.
yeah, you lucky. But I got an owl whistle, and man, the frequency of the hoop that comes out the whistle is so beautiful, right? And you can get one. You can get an owl whistle on Amazon, $25. Yep, that's a perfect way to tap into that energy.
So you just go outside and blow the owl whistle, or you do it in the house?
Do it in the home. Do it in the house. Meditate.
Mm-hmm.
Do it in the house. Meditate. Because the owl's call is a frequency, the ones and zeros. That's why they made the whistles, to tap into the frequencies of the animal.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Now that I think about it, why do people need to whistle? It's an animal thing. It's an animal sound to tap into that frequency.
That's right.
So that's a good idea. I'm gonna get me one of them owl whistles.
Yeah, man. They're cool.
Okay, so what else can we do? Like, I know you know some more occult secrets about wealth building. Like, is there something that we can drink or eat to increase our money, money energy, money flow? Because, like we going out to a restaurant or cooking or making ourselves something to eat. Is there something we can incorporate into our diets?
Well,
Or
the
fun?
first thing that comes to mind is that monatomic gold
Mm-hmm.
and the colloidal silver.
Well, y'all can get that in my Etsy shop. Sprinkle.
Yeah, go grab that, because gold and silver, those elements are wealth,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then also electric foods, right? If you go on Google, you can just Google list of electric foods,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because money is electricity. Money is water. Water is electricity. Wealth and the currency, that's all electrical.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we consume electrical foods, the more electrical our body is. The more we can move and manifest money.
Let me look it up. I'm gonna look up a few. Okay, they're talking about here comes my southern. Fruits, lemons, oranges, bananas,
Mm-hmm.
avocados. This sounds like my diet.
Mm-hmm.
Avocados, tomatoes, spinach, kale, broccoli, potatoes, sweet potatoes, squash, nuts, seeds, beans, lentils, tofu, and some dairy products. Increase energy and vitality. Yeah, supports the body's natural electrical systems. Helps with a digestion and nutrient absorbent. Also overall health and well-being. Yeah, because I don't eat meat, so most of my food is electric.
Right. So there's a lot of people who that's their problem, right? As far as manifestation, is that they're not consuming anything electrical.
Mm-hmm.
So they got no energy. So there's a lot of people who can actually chant a mantra 5,000 times, 10,000 times, whatever, and won't manifest anything because there's no electricity in their body.
Right.
You need the electricity. You need the power.
That's
the vitality.
Yeah, that's literally what I ate for lunch. All of them foods that was on there. I had a vegetarian burrito bowl at a restaurant. It had avocados, tomatoes, guacamole, lemon, lime juice in there. Okay. All the other foods they be mentioning, I had like all of that stuff in there, and I eat like that almost every day. So a lot of the electricity in the foods that you say can help you manifest and bring forth, your energy and your money. I would definitely say, since I have been more, I don't eat meat, but since I have not been eating meat for the last 5 years, like total, I saw an increase in my wealth and my productivity as far as getting to the wealth.
Because it's the vitality, right? The what they call chi, or life force. You need that. You can't manifest without life force.
No. And I think I don't judge meat eaters, because I used to eat meat, but I'm saying, like, when you eat more electrical foods, because then you will see the difference. So I really don't I don't judge people that eat meat, because I used to eat it. But I think if you just increase the electrical foods, it's going to give you a similar or the same effect.
You know what I'm saying? And then, fellas have to increase their testosterone, because that is going to be the driving force to manifestation. See, because there's hidden energies in increasing testosterone, right? And for ladies, the womb, the foods that strengthen the womb, because women manifest money in their womb area, right? So you got to eat to cultivate the womb energetically, to be able to hold a lot of electricity to manifest. Some people miss that step too.
Right. Okay. I just looked up some foods that help your womb, and other things. So it's called womb foods. They said leafy greens, berries, nuts, seeds, whole grains, avocados, beans. It's the same stuff. Electric food.
30 day at least on that, and I promise you, your money is going to increase by at least 10%. At least 10% with the diet alone. The diet alone.
Because it leads to other things. Like, if you're lethargic all the time, if you don't have the right energy, if your electricity isn't on the right level, you're going to lay on the couch. You're going to watch TV. You're going to lay in bed. If your energy is high and your electricity is high, you're going to get up and look for something to be productive with, which will definitely lead to more. So I think that's what it has to do with it. And also your energetic level, people can see it in you. And they'll be like, they look like they're standing on business. They look like they get stuff done. And then they'll look at someone else. Oh, they look like they got the itis. And they done after they eat.
you know who I found out had a very, very strict electrical alkaline diet was Queen Elizabeth. For a very long time. Very strict on her diet. Very strict on her diet.
She lived a long time too.
Look at all that wealth she was around. She lived a long time. Got up early. She would get up at 4 a.m. She would eat the same good food every day for years. Very strict. She went to bed on time too.
You know what? That's another thing that people with a lot of money do. They have like some kind of weird, I ain't gonna say weird because my stuff is weird. So they have a diet, a routine, and how a special way that they eat or have food prepared for them. I've noticed that, they'll have somebody cook it or they'll cook it themselves, but it's always like people that have a lot of money have a strict or, distinct diet?
That is because a lot of reasons. One, if your diet throws you off, it's gonna mess up your productivity. Two, if they got access to any and everything meal wise, so very easily they can kill themselves by having the wrong diet, and they acknowledge that. So they choose the strictness to avoid that. So it's very, very, it becomes very, very important. Like maybe early on, they might go a little wild with the diet, but they learn very fast that they can't afford to cause issues in their health because they got so much access.
Because health is wealth, Venusian sage says.
Venusian sage. That's an interesting name.
Yeah, we like that name.
Yeah, we like that.
Is wealth.
Health is wealth.
So the healthier you are, the wealthier you are, because you could do more. Your electricity in your body is on a higher frequency, so you're going to attract more. So health is wealth. Literally.
For anybody who wants to, who's into exercise, strengthen the core. Right? In martial arts, the core is known as the supernatural abdominals. It's feeding the same electricity that we're talking about. So if there was a part of the body to work, it would be the abs and the legs as far as wealth, and also the hip flexors. Right? The lower parts of the body, exercise-wise, I can promise you will increase your wealth. A couple percentages up. Just the exercise alone.
Yep. That's true, because if you do it, like if you're doing it through science, when you exercise, it gets all your veins and arteries flowing, which then gets to your lymph system, which is part of your electricity in your body, which increases your frequency. So you work out, your lymph system will get activated, and then that increases the energy of your body.
Yep. Perfectly said.
Even if it's just walking, do something.
Oh, I got another one. Regular massages. Once or twice a week. And remember, energy, currency, current, electricity, you're getting that chi to flow through the body. Money has to move. The current has to move. The worst thing for the current is to be stagnant or stuck.
Yes. And that also goes back into the health, like people with clogged arteries or high cholesterol. Their blood is their currency, and it has trouble getting through them arteries and veins. So you got to take care of your health as well.
That's right.
So get on that. Someone says tuned in at the right time. I know that's right. Okay, talk to us about words of wealth, because words are very powerful.
Like, I think it was maybe a month ago, and I told my students, the minute someone tells you I'm broke, block them. That is the worst affirmation. If someone tells you that just rubbed off on you. It's going right into your electromagnetic frequency. It's just going to change the color of your aura, literally. Words are very powerful, right? So never, ever affirm I'm in debt, I'm broke, I don't got it. You're going to manifest that stronger.
What should people say instead?
It's actually better to pretend and go, I'm rich.
Okay.
Even if you don't believe that, just say it.
Yeah, because like you could be. You don't know. You could have a check waiting with you somewhere with your name on it in the future.
They
And
say that Muhammad Ali said that he said that he was the champion way before he actually believed it. He was saying things that he didn't believe. He was pretending, and he became the heavyweight champion at 18 years old, and he was shocked.
he spoke it into existence.
He spoke it into existence, and he didn't even know what he was doing. He was pretending, and when it actually happened, he was like, whoa. That's how important words are.
Yeah. So for people that don't want, or besides I'm rich, what's some more words? Some extra words.
So what?
Some other words or other phrases people can say.
I'm doing well. My money is increasing.
Mm-hmm.
I will be rich very soon. I'll be a millionaire within a year. Just say it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm grateful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to see this forward progress.
I have an idea too to make that even more powerful. Film yourself saying it and put it out there on social media so everyone hears it and believes it too. And that increases the frequency way more than you just saying and you believing it. If everybody else believe it, you're putting your frequency out there and to a higher frequency with more frequencies and more frequencies. So it's definitely going to increase. So say it online and put it out there and let it circle.
Sorcery 101.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because they believe it. You said it. They believe it. It's going to manifest because now 500 people believe something. You put Sorcery 101.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, do it. Who cares? Like I was looking through my stuff and I saw like this old video of Kim Kardashian in high school talking about, oh, when I'm famous, this is going to be very valuable, so y'all better keep it.
I seen Cardi B do something similar to that.
Yep.
Because she was not a rapper at all.
Mm-mm.
And she just said, I'm a rapper. I watched that manifest.
Yep. So speak what you want. Speak what what you want your intention to go into, and like what you want to attract. Speak it. Don't say negative things about yourself. That's the worst thing you could say about yourself is anything negative. It's already two people out there trying to do that. Why are you going to add to it?
Right.
Speak positive and abundant about yourself. Always. That's the same thing as dressing rich, talking rich.
Yeah, it all goes together. You can't neglect any of the rules.
Because if you put on a nice outfit and then your mouth opens and poverty pours out, you might as well be wearing, nothing or whatever.
You cancel it out right away.
So everything has to blend well. Has to go together. You can't be gossiping, wearing a nice outfit, talking about you got money. Because rich people, they don't really gossip. They talk about ideas, how to make more money, where they're going to go vacation at. They ain't talking about nobody gossip because nobody cares.
And this is why I say you got to kind of, the best way I can articulate it is you got to kind of be obsessed with the art or the sport of wealth, right? And you got to look at it like a sport or art form that you decided to get into. You said what?
True. Someone says, can ugly woman also become rich? Yes. You got to, ugliness doesn't have anything to do with being rich because you just have to take care of yourself. Self-care. You have to every day take care of everything. Even if you're ugly, if you're well dressed, your skin looks good, your hair is in place, your nails are done, you're not ugly no more. You're well put together. And then once you make your money, whatever you need to do to look better, you could use that money to go do it. But you need to be well put together in order to attract wealth.
I forgot the number of how many millionaires are in America.
A lot.
It's a big number.
Let me read, because I mean, let me look it up, because I was reading that the other day, and it's a lot now.
It's that number is very big. So it's not like the odds of you being a millionaire is like 2% or nothing like that.
Okay, so in 2024, the United States is estimated approximately to have 23.8 million millionaires.
23.8 million millionaires.
And I didn't even look up billionaires. But that's
so the odds are very high. Way higher than you winning the lottery and all of that. And I think they said it was like 1,800 billionaires or something like that. But 23 million millionaires, like those very high odds. So that's the next thing. None of this occurs without the belief.
And also, you know how you say dress well? Dress well in your home too. Your
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
I'm gonna look into that.
Try like putting on something that makes you look wealthy. Right? Look at yourself in the mirror and study how intensely and how fast your frequency changed. In the home is very important because you're like we said, this is a thing where we want y'all to do this every day. This is not like only on the weekends.
Every day.
Every day. Just like, you know, some of y'all who are into mantras and things like that. Y'all do the mantras every day. You got to do this every day. In the home, outside the home. Again, you got to be obsessed with the frequency for the frequency to completely materialize. If you're not consistent enough, it's not going to materialize. So in the home is a big deal. In the home.
Yep. Right? And I have a book that is called Leveling Up to Your Best Life, Creating a Life of Comfort and Luxury. And it's like a coffee table book. It has pictures and all this kind of stuff in it, but it teaches you how to create a life that reflects luxury and comfort on any budget so that you can start to, you know, get on that frequency and teach other people also how to treat you as well. So even if you're going to the thrift store to buy fine china, even if you're, you know, dressing up very nice with nowhere to go, you know, set a plate out and some, you know, actual silverware on your table, drink out of a nice crystal or glass, wine glass, and get into the frequency of wealth and luxury. Okay. So anybody can do that. So my book will just help you, you know, figure out how to do that on your budget so that you can get more and more. And another secret to building wealth is not to live or front like you, like don't spend all your wealth to look wealthy, especially not in the beginning of yourself getting wealth. Nobody needs to know that you're wealthy until you really are wealthy. You know what I'm saying? Or rich. Nobody needs to know that by you purchasing stuff and, you know, dwindling your accounts as far as not too much designer. But like Terrane says, if the look says rich versus the designer, you're still getting on that same frequency and keeping all your money and growing it, you know?
I got it. I got another secret.
Okay, yeah. What's that?
That a lot of people miss. Posture. Etiquette. These are things that, like, they got etiquette courses. Just invest into something like that for a couple of weeks. Right? And posture is a big deal because a lot of the posture of sitting erect and all of that type of stuff and the proper hand placement, that's all the science of ballet. The French royalty decided to incorporate ballet into the culture of the bourgeoisie.
That's why in those old paintings, all the men are wearing tights and like pointing their toes and standing up like this.
The
Looking down at
actual art form of ballet came from the French, and that was instituted as the culture of the bourgeoisie so that the bourgeoisie could be above the regular class.
Mhm.
And it was kind of wise for that to be instituted because ballet is kind of like a form of yoga. It
Mhm.
have the proper movements for the spine. And that go all the way back to like comedic science and stuff.
Mhm. Allows your
Yeah.
energy to flow freer.
Back to electricity.
Mhm. So yeah, if you don't want to do ballet, Pilates, yoga,
Etiquette.
your core and your posture working.
Right. Yeah. Just look into the posture thing. But etiquette courses, certain charm schools, that stuff works.
Bougie. Yes. Knowing what fork to use, knowing what fork to use, not taking as an insult when someone calls you bougie or high maintenance. That is a compliment, not an insult.
There's a science. This stuff is part of the sport.
Hmm. So if someone says, "Oh, you're a bougie, aren't you?" Why, yes, I am. Thanks for being so observant. It's a compliment. It's not like it's only an insult if you're poverty minded.
It's a sport most people are not going to understand because they're not playing the sport.
Mm-hmm.
So don't expect your family members, your best friend, whatever, to understand the sport because they're not in the sport. But again, they're going to be the ones asking you for money, right?
And the funny thing is, when you tell them how to get it, they don't want to hear it.
Right.
That's weird.
Yeah.
They be like, "Huh? No, you gotta." Yeah. So, okay, what about colors? What colors can you wear or incorporate into your wardrobe that says wealth or it will attract wealth? Color magic.
Damn, that's a deep question. I would say the most consistent color is green,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then we have a more aggressive color. If you want to speed things up a little bit, that's red.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta be careful with red though, because red is a little impulsive.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were going the spiritual route, right? And the spiritual route is dealing with what we call auspiciousness, and that is physical and spiritual wealth. That color is orange.
Mm-hmm.
Pink, very, very, very high vibrational,
Mm-hmm.
right? And let me see, yellow.
Mm-hmm.
This is back to Lakshmi, right? Venus, right? Oshun,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yellow very consistent. Yellow actually more potent than green on the wealth tip. And of course, gold,
Mm-hmm.
right? All day, gold. Like that's a no-brainer. I'll say those colors.
Mm-hmm. So why are a lot of people that so why are certain colors like darker colors considered like wealthy looking colors like navy blue, black, dark, you could even do darker greens like that for men's suits or
Ooh, that
for
dark green, yeah.
yeah. What's navy blue? Like why is navy blue like such a color that's associated with wealth? If you like as far as clothing.
The ocean,
Mm-hmm.
right? Remember, all the wealth science started with the what you call that? The
Watcher.
Atlanteans, right? They held the first amount. They held the first wealth, right? So the color of the ocean is blue. Energetically, the color of the ocean is blue, right? And then the sky, right? The sky is another dimension that leads you to the other heavens. So
They
blue
started making
series,
money blue.
right?
Blue on
They
the money.
started making money blue. You know, it's so deep and it's crazy because I miss navy blue. Navy blue is an elite wealth color. I miss that.
I got a lot of navy blue in my wardrobe. Like even if I don't have anything on that's navy blue, I have a purse. I got shoes. I got a scarf. I got something with navy blue in it. A ring that's blue, like a sapphire. But I do love that color a lot. I've always loved it since I was young. But people would be like, "Well, why do you always like? It's such a masculine color, or it's not very fun." But I always try to incorporate it in something, whatever. But I like it.
You know, one of the things I noticed is that like every individual has a personal wealth color that's going to work specifically for them. And it sounds like for you already know it's navy blue.
It's navy blue for me. Like when I started re-wearing it more, my money increased, my opportunities increased like times 10.
Yeah. For me, I know for me it's a dark green. So that's another tip I'll give y'all. Like, take your time to find your color. Yep, find your color.
And you have to be very observant and self-aware of everything that's happening around you as well to notice what colors bring you in more. So start pay more attention to those types of things.
Because once you find your color, like SHERA said, you're gonna notice your money's gonna go like that because you're wearing your color.
Just wear it and be observant of what's happening in your life at that time and wear it consistently. So like if you are going to try to find your color, take a whole week and incorporate that color into your outfit some way, somehow, whether it's a purse, a pair of shoes, or something. But incorporate it in your outfit. It's easy to do if you're a woman because you can use a purse. Okay, and just keep that purse. Men can do ties, men can do like, socks, whatever. Thank you, Naomi. Sprinkle. So yeah, you can just incorporate it in your wardrobe like for a week straight to see if your color is getting you more. Then try to it's not.
I think one of my biggest deals with color is that color emits electromagnetic frequency. So for example, right, say I get a red light bulb, right? And I turn the light on and then the room gets red. Instantly, that electromagnetic frequency of that room has went to that frequency. Color is just that important. Right?
I just looked up the navy blue symbolic color. It says navy blue has a symbolic connection to wealth and power. Navy blue is often linked to concepts like authority, reliability, and sophistication, which is associated with financial success.
That's the elite.
Look up your color and see what it means, and try it. They also said something about green in there. So like dark green, if that's your color, they also said that's also associated with wealth. But yeah. Okay, so we got a few tips and secrets out there.
That's right.
Do y'all think that y'all learned enough, or do y'all want a few more tips? Because I know Terrane probably don't want to be on here all night because time is money.
What y'all want?
But if you want to talk to him further, his number is in the description bar. He will talk to you about money, how to get more.
please hit me up. I'm doing money rituals. I'm doing money consultations. I
His
haven't been
number,
doing those in a while, but I'm doing that stuff again. Money rituals, money consultation, money spells. Text me ASAP.
okay, and his number is in the description bar and at the top of the live feed, so y'all can get it.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Thank y'all for joining us.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Terrane.
No
We got
doubt.
to in it soon.
No doubt.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace. All right, y'all. Did y'all enjoy that? I did. Y'all make sure y'all go and subscribe to the Occult College, spelled with a K, on YouTube. And all the information is linked. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You said, I'll answer a few questions now. Yes, Terrane does the money rituals, money spells for people and all that kind of stuff. If y'all want to contact him, his number's in the description. And y'all go ahead and contact him. And I think his number is there for you to text as well. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Yeah, y'all got to make sure that y'all are on the money frequency and being obsessed with yourself and being obsessed with money is only going to lead you to what? Improvement of self and improvement of money funds. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So use the money science, wealth, and magic to increase your frequency, increase your knowledge about things that you're interested in. And you're going to start to bring it in and you're going to start to see if every day you wake up, that's what you're focused on, you can't go wrong. Okay. So many people wake up and focus on stuff that don't matter. And you know what? That's not the way to go. You need to focus on things that you want and that you want to manifest into your life. So whatever that is for you, that's what you need to focus on and become obsessed with. Okay. And obsession is not always bad. It can be a good thing. If you're obsessed with your health, you're going to be healthy. If you're obsessed with your money or your wealth, you're going to become wealthy. If you're obsessed with yourself, you're going to become probably the best version of yourself. Okay. Just like when you're obsessed with something, you know a lot about it. You acquire a lot of knowledge about it. You know, you're the expert on the topic. It's the same thing, except you're putting it back into yourself to grow your wealth, your self-esteem, your self-value, and all of those things. Okay. So start to see an obsession and use it in a positive way versus a negative way. Thank you. Sprinkle, sprinkle. So, yeah, switch it up and become obsessed with things that are going to bring you prosperity and abundance, self-awareness, and higher self-worth. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Y'all learn how to learn for yourself. And this is another thing about money. People that are wealthy minded, they love to do research and they love to learn, and they also like to teach. If you're constantly depending on other people for knowledge, they can tell you anything. So when I tell y'all to learn how to learn, that is the key. That is one of the keys to also having wealth, because you're not going to just listen and believe. You're going to do your research. You're going to learn. The more you learn about something, the higher your frequency becomes with it. Okay. So learning about money, learning about certain things, learning about like colors, learning about things that are going to increase your value, increase your wealth. That is the key. Not asking people questions they can give you the wrong answer to. Okay. Because if you literally sit there and do the work, do the research, you've learned something. You weren't told something. There's a difference. Okay. Because I could say something and it could be totally wrong. So you need to learn how to learn. I told my daughter earlier today, always keep learning and also be teachable. That's a good thing. Like, never think that you know everything. Always be teachable and always learn something and always be learning. It's okay to eat whatever you want, ma'am. Sprinkle, sprinkle. It's okay to eat whatever you want. If you understand science, if you understand what we just talked about, you know what foods are electrical. Okay. You can't ask me for permission to eat certain things. I'm not the authority on that. You have to be disciplined enough to eat what you feel is best for you and your frequency. Okay. People can't tell you what to do. Because I think when people get into the mindset of looking for people to tell them what to do, that's a poverty mindset. You have to know who you are, be disciplined, and do what's best for you. That's it. That's the mentality of wealth. Not can I do this? Can I do that? No, you can do whatever you want. We have free will over here. The difference between certain types of people is discipline, knowledge, and understanding, and how to put it to work for you and to make yourself whatever you're trying to create. So y'all don't need permission from me, baby. Do the research, do what you got to do, and do what works best for you. Okay, sprinkle, sprinkle. Mm-hmm. Yes, you got to think for yourself. Stop asking people what to do. Ask yourself what's best for you, because everyone is different. Truly, everyone is different. Mm-hmm. Do you attract more with gratitude or being spoiled and knowing I deserve better? Both. If you're spoiled and you know you deserve better, but you also have gratitude for what you've gotten, both. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Mm-hmm. You said be around people with more wealth and knowledge. Yes. And if you can't be around people with more wealth and knowledge, then definitely don't hang around poor people or poverty-minded people. Be by yourself for a little while. Read you a little book. Get your knowledge up. Learn about things. Start changing your behavior, your routines, and become a little bit more disciplined. That's also going to help you, because not everybody is going to have the time, energy, or the access to be around a bunch of wealthy people all the time. So you have to take yourself serious enough to stop hanging around people that aren't beneficial to you, and to start reading and studying or incorporating the habits or the rituals of people that have wealth. If you can't be around them, their habits are the next best thing to learn from. Okay. So think about it like that and start incorporating those things into your life. And once you do that for maybe a week or 2 weeks or a month, if broke people try to come back around you with terrible habits, you're going to be disgusted by them. You're going to be like, no, this is not happening. No, I'm sorry. I get my day started very early. It's going to be very different. They're going to be like, you've changed. You're not the same person. Well, thank goodness. I'm better. You see? So you got to think about it like that. And when people call it, oh, you bougie, huh? Yes, I am. You think you're better. I don't think. I know. I have better habits. I have a better diet. I have a better mentality. If that makes me better compared to you, then you the one that said it. I didn't. So if you really think about it, when people try to insult you, they're literally complimenting you in reverse. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Don't let it get you down. Understand what you are representing and what you're no longer representing. And that's how your money is going to start to grow. When you know who you are here, your frequency is going to match it. If you're, on the fence about, I don't want to, no, either you are or you're not. Okay, you got to get on the frequency or get off. Get on or get off. That's it. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And that doesn't matter it doesn't matter your color, your religion. Money is the same language. Okay? Money is a language, and it's a frequency, and it's an energy. Currency. And y'all have to understand the real, like, okay, people that wear and show off their money a lot and show off their wealth a lot, you know, and then there's some people that have quiet wealth. There's new money, there's old money. Whatever it is, as long as their money is growing and increasing, that's all that really matters. But if you want to keep your money growing and increasing, you don't need to spend as much to put on a facade. You need to, you need to make that money make you more money. You know what I mean? And one day, it's all gonna make sense. All right. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Terrane was talking about how like making money is a sport, and it literally becomes a sport once you have it, and it's no longer, something you surviving with, but something you can play with or play a sport with. Okay, so when you become wealthy enough to where your money is a sport, you are now figuring out, okay, since I'm making this much money, if I spend this much, I'm still making that much. So it's not like I'm spending it at all. But if I increase how much I'm earning and I spend money, it doesn't even count because my money is earning money. Also, like a lot of rich people, they'll get credit cards and earn points on their credit cards every time they spend, and they'll pay the entire balance off, thus getting thousands of dollars in points for free, investing that cash back into their account, making their money make more money. So it literally becomes a sport when you're no longer in survival mode. It becomes it's kind of like the ultimate coupon, the ultimate couponing. That's literally what being wealthy, playing a sport of earning more money is like. The ultimate couponer. Seeing how to make your money make more money. Okay, you ever seen them ultimate couponers? They go into the store with like 20 coupons and they buy a bunch of shampoo and conditioner and toothpaste, and the people owe them money when they come out. It's like that. That is the sport of wealth when you got money. It's just like the ultimate couponing, except you have more things to play with. Okay. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Getting out of survival mode, mind, you said it's the hardest part. Because when it's easy, when you have several streams of income. That's why on both my channels, I promote several streams of income. I don't care what the stream is, as long as it's legal. You should be able to have more than one stream of income. It's too easy now with all the technology that we have. You can literally run a few businesses just from your phone, So instead of like when y'all get y'all's income tax checks back, instead of running to the mall, run online and get you an online store. Run online and buy you some inventory. Run online and start you a small business online, or a little drop ship company, or an Etsy store or something. Do that. Because that is like, you advertise, you're going to increase all of that. Your money's going to start coming in. You have another stream of income. Okay. And you never know, that could blow up. You keep doing it. All right. You see what's popular. You see what's happening. You see what you're passionate about. Like this person right here. They were watching my channel. They started their candle business. They have a whole candle company now where it's what is this called? Luxury body oil candle, Vesper and Silk by Solace. Okay. And you burn this, it turns into luxury body oil. And there's even a little bit of gold in there, and you put it on your skin. These are, I mean, and it smells fabulous. Here is this person's business right here. And I literally advertised for them like months ago. And they have a whole store. People love buying candles. People love body oils. You know, just do it. Don't sit there and think about it too long. If you got the money, go do it. Don't sit there and think about it, because all you're gonna do is spend the money on something stupid. You know, instead of spending it on investing in yourself to earn yourself more, you should do that. Can you give some examples of shows or movies to watch for classy female icons, inspiration you need to study? You've been watching my videos. Thank you. Old movies. Anything where women are feminine, put together, dressed well, and have manners. Any of those old movies. Any old movie, baby. Any old movie. Okay. Because back then, even if they were poor or rich, they were well put together, well mannered, and, you know, put their best foot forward in all the old movies. I love watching old movies. I love listening to old music, because, you know, there's a higher frequency in those older movies and those older songs that's not out there today. Thank you for the super sticker. The high one, sprinkle. Thank you, Miss Bree. So find something old where women still put themselves together. Okay. Anything from the 80s and back. Because women today, they walk out the house with bonnets on, pajamas, looking like who did it and why. And, you know, we talk about that on my other channel. Very poverty minded. So go to back when women cared about themselves, because the divine feminine is prosperity. And the more you represent the divine feminine in the highest degree, the higher your wealth is going to be. Okay. Sprinkle. The higher your wealth will be when you represent the divine feminine on the highest frequency, as far as looks, mentality, frequency, you know, all mindset, all of it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, another reason why people promote, now listen to me very carefully. Another reason people promote poverty culture and poverty mind. Do y'all want to know why people promote poverty lifestyle, poverty fashion, poverty music? Do you know why people promote that? I'll let y'all answer that. Okay. Sprinkle. You said that little doll behind me is scary? It's a teddy bear. Okay. Y'all are silly. Mm-hmm. I think, you know what? If y'all sit and think about why people try to keep people on a poverty mentality, it'll start to make sense. Why would you want to promote poverty mentality, poverty music, poverty fashion? Why would you want to promote it? What's the benefit? Think about it. There you go. Because even though it's an option, even though it's popular, it's still a choice. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to tell y'all one of my secrets. Most of the people that I talk to on a regular basis, besides my kids, are rich. Okay? Think about this for a second. Anybody that I'm going to speak to on a regular basis, besides my kids, because, you know, my kids are rich because I'm rich, but besides my kids, anyone that I'm speaking to on a regular basis are rich. That's another secret. If I speak to someone else, it's not going to be very long, or we're going to be talking about money and how to increase it. Okay. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You said if everyone succeeds, the system collapses. It's just logic. Well, with technology, it's possible for everyone to exceed and to have wealth, but then wealth will not be wealth anymore if everyone has it. It'll just be the norm. So that is correct. Like, if everyone is beautiful, then what is beautiful? You have nothing to compare it to. So they give the people free will, but they use people to promote poverty mind to the masses of people that are already indoctrinated into poverty mind because it's easier to keep it going. And so there's few people that will try to steer you in another direction or wake you up or show you a different way. And it's all free will, all of it. That's why you can't be mad, because everything is free will. We have technology, we have choice, we have, block buttons, we have, the knowledge on how to get on different algorithms on our social medias. We have a choice of what we listen to and what we don't listen to. We have a choice about the people that we deal with and who we don't want to deal with. And every decision you make is literally a choice on how you feel about yourself. So think about it. Every decision you make is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. That's something very deep that you need to talk and think about with other people. It's time to make a change in your life for the better. Okay. You said that sounds miserable. All of your materials can be snatched away with quickness. Is that what happened to you, Peppermint? Are you miserable? Sprinkle, sprinkle. You see, the difference between Peppermint and I is that I know how to get it right back because I have the knowledge of wealth, not of poverty. You see, that's the difference. And people that are wealthy know how to prevent that from happening because they studied it and they understand it, and it's a sport to them, not life or death. They're not in survival mode anymore. So when I tell y'all something, definitely understand that it is a mentality. Sprinkle, sprinkle. If you took the richest man in the world and took all his money, he'd get it back tomorrow or the next day. Period. Why? Because his knowledge is more valuable. All he'd have to do is go on a TED Talk, start a workshop. He'd be rich tomorrow again because of what he knows, his mentality. She, because of what she knows, her mentality. You understand? So poverty mind can't sell. Only wealth, only the wealthy minded people can sell and could get rich once again the next day because their knowledge is their wealth and their mentality. This is how you can clock poverty minded people. They don't even have faith in themselves. So they want to project that onto you. You got to have faith in yourself. Okay? You got to have faith in yourself. You can't be argumentative. You got to be teachable. You got to be understanding. You got to get on the frequency. If you want to argue and stand up for poverty, go be the spokesperson for poverty, sir. Because I know you're a man. All right. Go ahead and make your TED Talk on how to be broke. Sprinkle, sprinkle. All right. Wonderful. Anyway, back to the mentality. true alchemists will never, ever promote poverty mind. Never. Because it's all about becoming your best self, and living your best life, and moving forward and turning lead into gold. And that's for every aspect of your life. If you can't figure out how to get money, there's no way you're going to be spiritually up there mentally. Okay. If you can't manifest from the spiritual realm into the material realm, you're not very spiritual at all. Okay. Think about it. If you're the authority on poverty, well, then go have fun with that. Go ahead and promote it. All right. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I don't, everything is free will. And I know a lot of people don't like the fact that people sit here and talk about wealth, and instead of listening, making small adjustments, becoming more disciplined, doing certain things, they want to argue the point. There's no arguing. You either listen or you don't. We don't care. Okay. Right. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Mm-hmm. So that's it. And, you know, don't date nothing broke. Don't date no dusty men. Mm-hmm. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Y'all know my other channel. So speak what you want, manifest what you want, become obsessed with what you want. And that's going to change your entire frequency and your direction in order for you to be able to receive it. That's literally it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, stay dust free. Exactly. Clean up. Uh-huh. Speak highly of yourself. Speak what you want. Hang around people that already have the things that you're trying to, attain or hire, and be teachable. Hang around people that you could learn things from. Okay. If you're hanging around broke people all the time, that's a low frequency. It's better to be by yourself, learning, reading a book, or doing something, doing research, creating positive habits, being more disciplined. It's better to do that than hang around broke people, literally. So start there. Start with self-discipline. Every day, get up and make up your bed. You see, my bed is always made. Every day you get up and make up your bed, you're 2,000% more likely to become a millionaire. Okay? That's literally the statistics. If you wake up every day and make up your bed, your chances of becoming a millionaire increase 2,000%. Start there. Okay? Why? Because you're not going to get back in it. You're not going to lay down in it. You're not going to come home and throw your bags down and get into bed. No, you're going to stay productive. Okay? Mm-hmm. Keep your house clean. Okay? Make yourself a priority. Have discipline. That's literally, and hang around people that do the same things and have similar habits. That's literally it. You hang around broke people, broke side of town, you got broke people habits, you're going to stay broke. You have some discipline, get up, put yourself together, make up your bed, keep your house tidy, make yourself look good, feel good, get out there and present yourself to the world, speak abundance into your life. That's what it's going to do. That's literally it. You can't expect to do certain things if you're not in the right environment, on the right frequency, with the right mindset. You can't do it. You got to totally change 100% of your habits. You got to get on a different frequency. People do this all the time with different things. When they go on a diet, when they join some kind of cult, when they change religions, they become the authority on whatever it is that they're doing new. Become the authority on getting some money. Okay? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Exactly. Surround yourself with what you want to learn from, what you want to grow into, and what you want to vibrate, what frequency you want to vibrate on. That's what you need to surround yourself with. And then it's going to happen. Become obsessed with yourself. Become obsessed with whatever it is you're trying to do. And that's it. Learn about it. That's where you start. Discipline, habits, and the people in the environment. Start there. And stop making excuses. Excuses are for poor people. I ain't even lying. Once you stop making excuses, you're going to see your money start to grow. Once you start looking for solutions, instead of telling people this, and that, your money will grow, because solutions force you to think in a direction of getting more. Solutions force you to find the answer. Solutions force you to get more, to solve the issue. Making excuses allows you to stay in your position and not move forward. So once you stop making excuses, you're on your way to getting some money, period. Think about this. The dustiest people you know always got a bunch of excuses. Am I correct? They do, right? So it goes together. Excuses and brokenness and dustiness go together. You hear somebody that's solution oriented and has a mindset to get things solved. That's where the money is. All right. Well, I hope that y'all learned something. Thank y'all so much. I'm going to wrap this up. I thank y'all for everyone who have commented and came in here today. And thanks the good questions and comments and stuff like that. You got to, okay. So people are saying, how can you become obsessed with yourself? Main character energy. You are the main character of your life every day that you wake up. Don't be an extra. Don't be a side character. Be the main character. All right. When you wake up, main character energy all day, every day, period. That's it. If you aren't the main character of your life, whose life you living? You got to have main character energy. If you don't, why not? Whose extra are you? Whose movie are you in? Is it yours? Then act like it. That's how you do it. Main character energy, man. You said life is about you. Exactly. It's not about nobody else but you. And everybody else are side characters. That's just the truth. But some people don't realize they're the main character and they're not acting like it. So act like you're the main character. If somebody tuned in to your channel of life and they wanted to watch a movie or a sitcom, if they can't figure out who the main character is, they turning it. It's boring. Ain't no main characters in this. Everybody's just random. Be the main character. Okay? Get up and look like the main character. Get up and dress like the main character. Get up and smell like the main character. Get up and talk like the main character. Okay? Get up and do things with purpose like a main character. So people can understand that you are the main character of your life. If you don't do that, no one's going to tune in. The station and your frequency, nobody going to tune in. Nobody want to do nothing with that. No advertisers want to come in and say, we want to put our commercial on this, or we want to invest in this, or we want to do, they're boring. They don't even know they're the main character. They're sitting around, laying around in the bed, talking about woe is me, how boring. Next channel. Oh, look at this person right here. Oh, they got up. Okay. What are they doing? Making up their bed? Oh my gosh. What are they doing? Okay, I like this. I like this morning routine. Okay, interesting. Well, that's a nice outfit they got on. Oh, okay, where they're going. Oh, that's a nice building. What a nice car. Main character energy. You don't even have to be rich to have main character energy. You just got to be a main character of your life and act like it. That's where it comes from. So if you can't start, if you don't know where to start, that's where you need to start, being a main character. You're influencing yourself and your frequency. Okay. Being an influencer, you got to influence yourself first. Okay. If you can't influence yourself, first and foremost, by changing your habits and doing these certain things, you can't influence nobody. So you got to be the example of what a main character is, just the same. All right. Sprinkle, sprinkle. That is money man. Money magic is getting on the frequency of being able to attract more abundance, which means people have to like and understand your frequency. Okay. So for example, people that talk down about themselves, people that call themselves certain things, people that are, oh, woe is me, people that make it, that's not wealth minded. That's poverty mind. Nobody pays attention to that. People want to get away from it. It literally repels people. The wealthy mindset attracts people, and it also attracts people with money and like-minded people. So think about it like that. That is money magic. Money magic is also symbolism, you know. And if you watch the beginning of the video, Terrane and I were talking about all the money magic, all the little clues and tips that y'all can also incorporate. So make sure you rewatch the video. All right, I'm getting ready to go. Thank y'all, everybody. I appreciate y'all. Sprinkle, sprinkle. And I'll see y'all soon. Bye.